Oh yeah, snap into a Slim Jim. Hey, oh, it's time to chill. Okay, what's that's about is I was just over on Mike's. We were talking about Randy Savage, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and a little bit about the Slim Jim commercials. I always thought it was step into a Slim Jim, and I went and watched them and snap, and there's all this. I don't. I've seen the commercial so many times, but I don't remember the snapping like that. I don't know, but anyways, it is what it is. Uh, so I'm not sure whether anybody is here yet. Well, it doesn't look like anybody but Kelter, but I'm here. It is another Tuesday night, and it's the chill time here on Cross Comics. Um, things looking up a little, I guess. Maybe when we get some people here, I will show off a little something, a little something, something. No, not with that. Sorry, we don't do that sort of thing here. Sorry, that just puts up major red flags. Um, what else can I say? So I completed the Power of Possible. I really popped in. It wasn't exactly what I was thinking. It was really basic, really most of it. It was overall pretty good. Getting a new employment counselor. So I met with my one that I had for the last time today after. Um, Not much else to say on that behalf. I'm going to be getting the new one next Monday after I go in and I'll say re-register or whatever, but meet with him or her. Uh, that's when I will be assigned when I go in next. Um, so I don't know. Now trying to find something to talk about for the next 2 hours. Uh, we'll talk a little bit about this, a little bit about that. Of course, I'm sure. Um, Not as much excitement as the last couple of weeks to talk about that we've had, but hey, it is what it is, right? I was just checking there over on Mike's channel, seeing whether he ended yet. Um, I'm not sure whether Alk, well, not Alk, what's his name? Let me check. He's over on Mike's. Good Night Spoon. Good Night Spoon was saying last night he wouldn't be here for the next couple of weeks because he had to do some carpooling, but to get to work, I would assume. Um, uh, oh, you know what? We need to share this. Oh, share this out. So give me a second to share this out. Here we go. Okay, it's shared on the X. Post. I'll grab where else link was it. Put it in Discord. Although Discord, I guess we won't be putting it in Discord because Discord does not seem to be open right now. Okay, Discord does not want. Well, maybe it's opening properly. I'm not sure. Okay, hopefully it's opening properly and we'll be able to share that in a second. And then we'll grab the link and put it in our Twitter group to see about people on the show. I'll put it in. Nobody will come, I'm sure. Hey, nobody can come if you don't. Hey, I'll cover you tonight. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna put it in the 1.2 again, although oh, you know what, we'll put it in the 2 as well. Uh, you're making me miss the wrestling wrap up again. Oh yeah, and you're really sad about that, Elk. I'm sure. I can just see the tears streaming down your face for missing it now. Not. The only thing you might be sad about missing, of course, is not the wrestling wrap up, but maybe the neat news afterwards. So, of course, there's the big story in new in the thing that we could talk about, but I don't think anybody really wants to talk about that here, at least not much or at all. So in a bit, I'm going to be showing off something that people I think will like. Um, the beginnings of something. um, I'm just trying to be somewhat entertaining. Um, Trying to think what there is to talk about. Mike is power dumping so much wrestling into the niche history now. uh, what is the big news? Well, I won't say it's big news, but it's good news. Um, you know what? Maybe I will do it now. Let's see. Da, 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 da. So here we go. I have gotten the first page back of the Canadian Shield #1. Although there's a few minor adjustments I've asked him to make. I want the Canadian Shield to be a little bigger. I might have to get. I was just noticing this now and coming up close. Might have to get him to do with something with this other arm. Uh, And I wanted to make this coffee table a bit bigger and coming a little bit closer to in between them. Spoon should be here soon. He may or may not. It's hard to tell. He was saying last night at the end that he might not be able to be here for the next couple weeks because of some carpooling. Is a riot. Well, I don't think it's quite as bad as Rob Liefeld, but I get what you mean. But the Canadian Shield is big, and that's the other thing. I've asked him to make him a little bit bigger in this because he seems small compared to the. He seems about the same size, but even sitting down, maybe even smaller than he should in comparison to this other guy. This other guy's, I think, at most 6 feet. I think I can find that out. And then the other thing that I've asked him to do a little change is in this third panel, have Canadian Shield up a bit higher so you can see more of him. I know he's sitting down, but I might have to look at my see what I had Canadian Shield doing here. Um, I think the arm that's furthest away from us, I might want to be up in the air. Not that it's a big thing. We also need a line on his arm here to signify where the which the white jumpsuit, for lack of a better say, is ending. And of course, we need the shield emblem on the chest as well. I might actually do this. But overall, I'm liking it. It's just, getting some things a little bit more aligned, shall we say. I might make the borders slightly thicker too, though, because these borders seem really thin. He's using some thin lines. Why aren't you drawing him yourself? The Canadian Shield. I started this, um, doing it myself, and then just with my whole situation going on, it's hard for me to get time and being in the right space to do it. So this guy is fairly good. I will be coloring this though myself, and lettering it. And then there's the fact that I lost everything on my hard drive, so I had to start over too. So, or somewhat start over, and I didn't really like that, or I had started over. Um, that's about it for that. Um, but I like how we got John in here, John Sims, and oh yeah, I was gonna look up, see if I can find either on my website, John Sims site. Okay, so I have him as 6'3". So he's, Canadian Shield is 1.75 feet bigger than him. Okay, and there's something else I just noticed for consistency. In panel one, uh, the Easy Boy is only comes up to about halfway through his head, where in the last panel, the Easy Boy is level or above the top of his head. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to send him a couple more notes in the morning about that, or after I get off the air tonight. But I'll probably do it in the morning. And I don't like that he hasn't included a lot of the background stuff, but not much I can do about that. Hey, good night, Flynn. I will be listening as I drift to sleep, so don't miss my ride to work in the morning. Pretend I'm saying things that personally amuse me but irritate others, and then act like I said something to offend Tom for goodness. Well, that would mean Tim has to be here for that. So this is, shall we say, the first draft for page one of Canadian Shield 3 by Ephraim, the guy that did number thing. Um, there is a page. I'm thinking of I might get him to only not finish the page, but get him to draw the basics of the page. Um, let's see. I'll show you the page. It's got some stuff drawn into it right now, and it might look a real mess when I show it to you. So, um, okay, so Snowdrift 2, pages. I'm not sure which. Uh, should you be doing this review in? Should be doing this review in rough. Uh, Tim is always watching from the closet. I should be doing. Yeah, well, I gave him like he did a slightly different design. This is a design that I had originally, um, that I was really wanting him to stick with. I hate to say it, the guy has a little bit of a problem taking direction. So in this picture, uh, so there's a church here with a whole bunch of seats in it. Um, Hopefully, I can get the original. And I was thinking of maybe having it so I could have people drawn in for the church service. I had already tried to decide ones that I wanted in here, although I know it's hard to tell with this. And of course, we have the Canadian shield at the back there. So I was thinking I might be able to do a tier for wanting to be drawn in the crowd here on my campaign. And actually, that'd go over a couple pages. Because some of them would get seen in, depending on the angle and all that, some would get seen in these other scenes. Rick, what is the point on the focus in this church shot? Um, Canadian Shield is going to a church service for the first time in this time zone. This since he's been in modern day. Also, please could you explain the solo fingering situation of the Dutch angle choices? Okay, I'm not sure what you mean. So he doesn't put all that time into it. He should also he doesn't put all that time into it just to change it. Yeah, well, he did a couple of rough layouts a while back, and I was telling him things, and he's the one that did it. I gave him access to all these drawings and the layouts that I wanted. Uh, Not the point of the story. What is the audience supposed to be looking at in the frame and why? Um, why? I guess just to give a perspective, seeing him at the back of the church. He enters and he just sits at the back, and you're almost seeing it from the pastor's perspective, the pulpit perspective, but just a bit beyond that. We'll say just in front of the front row. I just thought it'd be a good shot of seeing the whole church. We'll say the whole church or the room that the service is taking place. It's an evening service supposed to be an evening service on a Sunday, so they're a little bit more laid back usually. And hello, Mike, how are you? And then, of course, he hears the service, so trying to get a few different angles. That was the thought. Um, uh, who is who in the front row is important to the story? Uh, Probably nobody in the front story will be important to the thing. He talks to the pastor a bit. Um, there is a scene. I'm not sure how well it's drawn in here. Let's see. That's page 11. Well, you can't see it, I think, in this one, but in this panel, there's supposed to be one of these panels. Kids, all maybe it's the page before page 10. Bring up page 10. Uh, then you should find a better angle that serves story more. Well, it's hard to say what my artist is going to do because although I say sometimes I want done a certain way, doesn't always do it the way. But anyways, okay, well you can't see it in this. I did it better in my ones that I don't have access to. But when he's on the street here, there's supposed to be kids. I had the kids all around him, you know, because they were like, "Wow, really big guy." Tried to make a bit of a fun scene on the outside with the kids and him. He just, like attracts the kids' attention because, in the suit and all that. Um, but yeah, I had one look for the thing. I'm gonna have, I don't know what, I know it possibly done is. Uh, where did I put those? Did I even save them? I know. I'm not sure whether I saved them either. Here, let me get something. Let's see in here. Oh no, it's Facebook. Where he sent me. Okay, I'm just trying to. I thought he sent me the pages. Maybe he emailed it to me. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Seen the page one that he sent me before. Uh, okay. So that's that. What else? Anything else you guys want to talk about? What else can we talk about? Yeah. I know I've been giving some dead air there for a couple minutes. Uh, okay. Um, I'm stumped for stuff to talk about. That was my big thing, showing off that page. Not a lot of people are here, per usual for me nowadays. Nobody comes on anymore when I send out the link. Maybe I need to put it somewhere else. Have you heard from the friend zone? No. I have expected to hear from her tonight. Because I think normally on a Tuesday she goes to thing, and she asked about coming this week, and I said, let me think about it. That's what I said last week. Oh, no problem. I'll, um, so most likely, as long as she's at the thing that I go to, which she usually is, I might see her tomorrow. So it'll probably be next week before you hear about that. Maybe I might end up mentioning a little bit about it on Mike's, depending on what happens. On Mike's show tomorrow. Yeah, I've got to. Well, I know you're not on Facebook, but I've got to set up a Facebook group. I'm not sure who I'd put in to send the link out to. Is that your games night? Is on Wednesday. I don't have a. I'm not sure what you mean by games night. On Wednesday night I'm on Mike's, but Wednesday afternoons. Well, I'm not working. I go to a place called the Living Rock. It's a ministry. It's mainly for youth normally, but on Wednesdays at noon they have a thing that they call the Gathering, which anybody's welcome to, no matter age. I know the owner of the ministry personally, and he invited me out. So, and well, I must admit, I originally went because she was going to be there. Um, it was another time to hopefully see her on a regular basis when she was coming to my church, and she's no longer coming to my church. My church has had games nights in the past. They're working on getting. Before it was just in the, well, shall we say, the sanctuary. They'd set up a table because the church I'm going to, um, it's a house converted into a church. So I guess what you'd call living room, dining room area, or what would have been the living room dining room area at one point, has been converted into a sanctuary. Um, so there's a downstairs that they're trying to convert. So we usually just set up a table and play cards or whatever. Set up um, an Xbox or whatever, and that was on Friday nights once a month. Well, with the pandemic, that got closed down, and then the guy that was running it on a regular basis wants to set it up. Um, Again, after the pandemic, um, is no longer going to the church. So, but they're trying to convert part of the basement into a game room. Like they've got a foosball table, an air hockey table. They've got an Xbox of some sort or a PlayStation that um they can set up permanently. Um, and they're probably going to set up a couple other tables for cards or whatever. Um, so I've been trying to get to that to help set that up, but things haven't been working out in the past little bit for that. And the pastor's off this couple of weeks, so not this week, but next week. As long as I don't have a job that day, I'm gonna go in the morning and try and do a little help set up for that, and then go over to the Living Rock Ministry thing. And of course, I'm going to be cordial to the friend zone girl. Say hi, how are you? If she's near enough or whatever. Sometimes she's up on stage playing bass. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'll be cordial. I won't be mean or anything. You got a plan. You got a plan, Stan. Yeah. Uh, but tomorrow, since I can't go and help out with the church, I am going to go to a place. I think it's called Employment Express or Express Employment. It's a temp agency. I know it's not the best thing, but I'm going to see whether I might be able to register with them. Um, and if I can, fine. If I can't, fine too. But in some ways, a good thing. Like I said, I thought she was going to call tonight to see whether to go to a Buddhist thing again, and I was just going to say no anyway. So she didn't. I don't think she texted. No, it doesn't look like it. I'll check. Uh, to what attribute? To what do you attribute these changes? What changes? Okay, so I'm gonna wait till Spoon answers the question of what changes that he's talking about. Because as far as I know, I haven't made any real changes unless you could be talking about going to employment agency, the temp agency. Well, I've talked about going to a temp agency before. I'm just, and did go once before to one, but didn't quite work out. I've just been procrastinating doing it, so I'm just not gonna procrastinate tomorrow. You were lamenting the lack of participation in the chat as well as the lack of people joining you on air. Uh, I think it could be probably several factors. People's lives are just different. My life is different. What else could I just be attribute the changes to? Maybe I'm not as exciting as I once was. I'm not sure. Have I changed? Have I changed a little bit? Well, obviously I've changed some, but have I changed for the better or the good? My channel right now, although it's supposed to be about comics, it's not a lot about my comics at the moment. It's just about me saying about what's going on in my life, and that's probably not of interest to many people. And I do want to change that in the future. And the big thing is, of course, is getting a job and getting a place of my own. I met you in 2018. Yeah, probably 2009. Could be either. I think I started the channel um, in around April, July. Well, April, July of 2018. I normally love to talk about editing your book, but I'm barely awake tonight. Yeah, no problem. Well, maybe we'll have some stuff for next week. Yeah, yeah. He worked on that top scene for an hour or so. He was saying, so I think that's why kept to putting that in, although it wasn't the angle was a bit off. I'm gonna have to, like I said, I'm gonna have to say a little something about think. Oh, and I asked him put like a mask and gloves on the coffee table as well. Uh, it was your Leo the Homeless stream where you forced me to accept free merchandise from you. So whenever that was, oh, that was a long time ago. I don't even think, unfortunately, I got to really go back and label a lot of these. But it would be nice if I could ever start making money that I could hire somebody to go back over my old stuff and do stuff with it. Uh, what what could you do to reduce the wrestling wrap up time? It'd be more and it'd be more energetic in general. Um, well, the wrestling wrap up, I think it just needs to be read a little bit more energetically, possibly. Um, the other thing that I thought of, but Mike has a hard time with technology. Um, is I thought that the wrestling wrap up would make its own good little pre-recorded segment, and that you could put images in with and all that, and just put it up as a thing by itself. But that would take a bit of work, and I'm not sure whether Mike would want to do it that way either. Um, because then you could market it just by itself and maybe draw in that wrestling crowd with it just at the end. Um, like they're just put in. The people that are into wrestling aren't going to necessarily know it's there to catch it. You know, you're most certainly different today than you were then, as am I. But I never met the you in the beginning, which is tremendously different from the you I knew when I left in 2020, 21. Yeah, we all change. Yeah, for sure. Hopefully in good ways. Sometimes a little, maybe not so good ways, but hopefully in good ways. You are most certainly different today than you were then, as am I. But I never met you in the beginning, which is tremendously different from the you I knew when I left in 2020, 21. Jeez, you Goodnight Spoon was around in 2020, 21. Actually, you might be able to see whether he was or not. I should go back to an old stream and check that out. So yes, you have changed. Everyone has changed. Hopefully for the better. Some hopefully some for the better, some for the worse. But I don't know that they're any less of an entertainer. I guess that's good. My cat is complaining. He wants out of my room. I'm too tired to get up. What if I'm too tired forever? He never gets out. Well, then, if you're too tired forever, you'll eventually die and he'll eat you. Although he might die first. I'm a time traveler. So, good night, Spoon. Well, it's good to hear I'm no less of an entertainer. Um, yeah, I think things for me with the channel are really going to change again when or hopefully when I get my own place, and I'm working on a couple things to do that. Of course, um, I'm doing my taxes so I can then go find a place, a room for $500, an unfurnished room to move into, which then, if I haven't got a job by then, get on welfare. Stream over is the no. Our Good Night Spoon is an excellent Mike Stan fan. He can rap with do kids about wrestling. I used to be one that was really into wrestling. I'm not so much into it now. You know, I don't care what's happening in wrestling now. I let Mike read that. Of course, it's his show. He can do everything the way that he wants to. I might bring the odd suggestion. Actually, tomorrow I've got to make up the thing for Friday. Oh, there's something. The last 2 weeks, there's been, well, I think he's used both of them. Um, the camo, um, the collage background. What have you thought of that for the Friday night? Because I'm trying to make it for each one, with comics from that company over some time. I'm not a fan of anyone or anything, but sometimes I play along. Oh, that's good. I guess. Good night, swim. But I wonder if the old streams would replace a certain person's name with another person's name with your name. Let's see. Oh, and if you guys can like and share, that'd be appreciated too. And if YouTube would keep my sub, I've been going up and down between 834 and 836 lately. Oh yeah, unfortunately he's not here. If Alphys was here, was going to go into a bit of how Canadian politics work. Uh, it would not. That was a different. Not me. um, is that handsome? Is the handsome raccoon man about town? Is your old Elf in your old streams? No. Oh, someone tried to defraud me tonight. Oh, wow. How? If you don't mind sharing. Well, is he Rick? I'm looking. I got one of the streams up from a noon hour, a high noon. We got Cat. Oh, Andy's Plumber. We got Eric Elric, Raggedy, Just a Random User, Misfit Corners, Cat, Lorenzo. But this is from May 2nd, 2019. Oh, it would have been my dad's birthday. Let's come over and see what you guys are saying. Oh, can you explain how Canadian election works, including politics? Okay. I'm advertising a room for rent. Well, you're a little bit far from Hamilton, Elk. Monsieur Elk. Raw contour. Okay. So, as for, and hello, Elfish. Okay, so we can have mini parties here, but usually we have we have three main parties here. Um, the conservatives, not always called just the conservatives, but for this purpose, that's what we will call them, the conservatives. Then we have the liberals, which is usually just liberals. Uh, and then we have another party called the NDP, which stands for New Democratic Party. Sounds like a bunch of people I never knew. They sent me a text saying their organizations would send me a bank draft. I sent them like, oh, yeah. As long as we got along with the king, that's not like listening aimed at Dustin. I think he's talking about how he got scammed. Yes, he is. Um, so, and then we have in Quebec, the French province. They have a main party there called the Bloc Québécois. I think they operate on the provincial and federal level, and all these parties operate on provincial and federal level in pretty much all the provinces. They might have slightly different names from province to province, especially the conservatives. And I think they're a bit different. And sometimes we have a few other outlier parties. We've got the Green Party, um, and some other parties that don't usually get much votes. Um, they don't even usually get seats. The Green Party is usually getting a seat now, a seat at two. Um, and basically, how it works is everybody goes and votes, or everybody that goes and votes for the party that they vote for the candidate that's in the party that they want, or they're voting for the candidate they want that just happens to be in the party, one of the part, a particular party. But most people are. It's hard to say, Some people go person, some people go party, but unfortunately, that's the problem with politics nowadays with the party system. If you're voting for a person, you're telling the party you want them. If you're voting for a party, you're telling the person you want them. And sometimes their ideals can be slightly misaligned. Hey, Samantha, how are you? Um, So whoever gets the most seats elected, so that's the most people voting for people on. Well, you know how seats work, right? You guys got that. But the party that gets the most seats forms the government, and then the one that's directly under them for less seats is what's considered the opposition. Um, Sometimes that can be there can be a wide difference, sometimes not. Right now, we have what we call federally in Canada. We have a minority government, where although a minority liberal government, which that means the liberals got more seats than all the other ones, but they did not get a majority of the seats. Like all the other parties together, their seats would add up to more than the liberals if they worked together. But that hardly ever happens. Although right now, the one party is working with the liberals to help the liberals stay in power. But the leader of that party is just doing it so he can get some extra moolah in a few years when he retires, or when he hits 55 retirement age or whatever. Uh, let's see. So I'm going to pause here for a sec, read a couple comments. I asked them if they were an AMU student and what their organization was. They stopped texting. And hello, Cement. How are you tonight? Um, do you follow what I'm saying so far, Alphas? And of course, all this can work on the provincial levels for the provincial governments as well. Um, and as for the head of the party, each party gets elected. They have an internal. Doing okay. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. I'm just explaining a bit about how Canadian politics works because Alpha it was over on another channel that I'm frequently on called the Mike Stand, Mike Walters, for his show the Mike Stand, and he was asking about how Canadian politics work, and I'm just letting him know. I said if he came over here and asked tonight, I would let him know. Oh, and if probably Elk could fill in some blanks too if there's anything that he thinks I'm not saying, because Elk is also Canadian and he might understand it slightly better than me. I'm not sure. But I think I'm doing a pretty good job. But the leaders of the party are elected within, just like with youth, they have their, like with you guys, the Republicans have their own little uh, convention, we'll say, to vote for the leader of their party. Um, so that's the way that we elect. Each party elects its leaders, and then of course all Canadians vote for um, who they want to be prime minister. What party they want to lead. I'm not sure how you want to put it. So and it's just depending on how widespread the vote is or whatever. Um, like in the law, you never told. Whoa, you never told me Elk was one of those Canadian folks. I thought you knew. Um, but what was I saying? I was saying something about leaders of the party or ahead. I finished. Oh, I know about seats and all that. Depending on how widespread the vote is, how spread it out is, um, can determine seats or not getting seats. Like in the last two elections, federal elections, the conservative vote was so out. We got more votes technically than the the liberals, but because the liberals got more seats, they formed the government, and they got more seats because more of their people were voted in certain areas. I thought he was from Wisconsin. I He's made this known in the chat. So he's from Edmonton. Um, well, technically he's from around here, but he lives in Edmonton. Um, yeah, yeah, the Conservatives got more votes because they had more people voting for them, but unfortunately they were more spread out. And unfortunately, a lot of the population for Canada is in this area, particularly Toronto. And unfortunately, Toronto has been a liberal hotspot. So if you get a lot of people there, you get a lot of vote. We don't have an electoral college like you guys and all that. So that affects it. Uh, Stop doxing people, Rick. He doxed himself in the chat before, so I'm not saying something nobody else didn't know. Um, well, I think that almost covers it, if not covers it. Any alphas, if hopefully you're still listening, any other thoughts, questions that you might want, specifics? I'll try and answer if I can. But I think I've covered, well, definitely the basics. We have, of course, 10 territories, no, 10 provinces and 3 territories. I'm crafting my YouTube takedown notice as we speak. So, Alk, you think I did a decent job explaining how the Canadian government or politics work, government or elections and work with including politics? And I forget the number of seats that we have. We call the House of Commons, which is our federal parliament. Ugh. Okay. Give me a sec. I'm just going to take a. You know what? I got to change that emblem. I might go out and come back in. keep meaning to change that emblem. I keep forgetting. Not that I have it up a lot, but something Americans often overlook is how our three-party system affects first past and post-election system. In a Democrat in America, if a Democrat or Republican wins a House or Senate seat, they have more than 50% of the vote. Yeah. Um, but with three-party system, the winner seats Canadian seat often has 35 to 38%. Yeah. Okay, so don't fret, people. I'm going to be right back in a couple minutes. The screen's going to go blank or something here. I want to just change my icon quickly. Hopefully, I can do it as quickly as I would like. And hopefully, okay, so hopefully this doesn't end the show either. I'm back. So often Canadian parties might win a large majority. Everyone panicked. The captain has abandoned ship. Mutiny. So often Canadians will win 300 seats out of 400 with just 35% or 38% of the vote. Yeah, and that's we have three party. Well, we have three main parties, but we have way more than three parties too. Okay, so if I stop counting, why does that shows an old image there? Virtual background. That never happens with a two-party system. True, true, true. Okay, send a trying to figure out how to change this image in the circle. I go to settings. Maybe brand logo. I can't choose. I would think that would be avatar, but okay. Well, I gotta figure that out afterwards. Oh, we lost everybody when we did that. I said I was going to be right back. Who's all here? Show of hands. Show of hands if you're here. Here's my hand. Put your hand in the man from Galilee. Put your hand in the hand of the man who stilled the waters. Okay, Elk is here. We see Elk's hand. It's a pinkish red, purplish hand, but it's a hand. How are things going with that girl you were talking to? Technically, it's been a week since I talked to her. I think things were. I had a few red flags, or quite a few red flags. Um, well, we'll say 3 red flags and possibly 1 deal breaker. But I should be seeing her tomorrow at a place that we both go to, usually on Wednesdays. So if she's there, I'm going to go, and if she's there, she's there. Of course, I'm going to be polite and all that. I'm not sure what will happen beyond that. I'm not expecting much, though, at this point. I did half expect her to contact me tonight because she had mentioned about going with her to the Buddhist thing again last week, before we departed. And I'd said I'd get back to her. So I was half expecting her to just text me and say, "Oh, did you want to come or not?" And well, she didn't text, so I don't know. I'll say there's other fish in the sea. Yes, it's a little harder for us guys to find those fish, but so that's the girl thing. Although I will show the one thing here for cement, since he wasn't here earlier, and we talked about it a lot. So here is uh, preliminary uh, page 1 of Canadian Shield number 3. Um, there's a few changes that I got to get him to make, but overall, I'm liking it. It's not a. I like my original look better, but yeah, sometimes the guy has a hard time listening. But two, I think I get through to him, and then he just goes and does what he does. But good thing is, I should be able to do any corrections if need be. Okay, so that's there. Turn it back on so you see me. And then this thing is up. Okay, so hopefully that answers your questions and you liked what you saw. And any other thoughts or whatever, feel free to ask or whatever. Um, I'm not sure what I'm going to do here in a couple minutes. I might end a little early, seeing as how things are. There's not a lot going on. We've talked about almost everything, talked about a few extra things. I'm not even sure whether one person that wanted to know things heard them. And I am a little tired. I was actually up at like 4 something this morning uh, because went to sleep around midnight last night. Got up around 4 something and I just couldn't get back to sleep. Have you done more paintings? Sold any yet? No, I haven't done any more, and I haven't sold any. Were you still interested in the one? I'd obviously have to touch it up in that one spot, which isn't a big deal. Why were you up at 4? Oh, like I said, I woke up to go to the washroom, and I just went laid back down, and I couldn't really get back to sleep. So I got on the computer, did some stuff, probably just listened to stuff. I guess a mild bout of insomnia. Not sure whether that's what you'd call it or not, but and everybody remember to like and share. Sharing is caring. So hopefully I'll sleep all through the night tonight till 7 or 8 in the morning. Uh, okay, I gotta think of something to talk about for the next 6 minutes. Okay, I said about 4 while I was up. Talked about, well, got asked about the paintings. Yeah, so I'm hoping within the next month and a half to 2 months to hopefully I should have my own place. Whether that's just a room or a small apartment, who knows? A bachelor apartment. I actually am looking for stuff. Found a place on Wellington, a place in the city for a bachelor apartment for $900, or just under 900. But you got to pay your own hydro and of course own internet, so that's not too bad. There's not a lot of those room around. It was a basement apartment, or is a basement apartment. Probably by the time I go look for it, it won't be there. And we're down to one person. So being down to one person, you know what? I know it's even a little bit earlier than I said, about 4 minutes earlier. I think I'm going to end a bit early, like I said. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll catch you all later. I'll see you hopefully next week or on the mic stand tomorrow and Friday and Sunday. So bye for now. God bless. Have a great and wonderful day. Love you all.